welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build today. Today we are working in Aluna Island, and it is a custom lot for Aluna Island. And it's only a custom lot only because it does kind of slope a little bit in the one back corner. It is not 100% flat, but I imagine that you'd probably be able to flatten this lot out if you choose and place it, in any other world, because it's not that unlevel. There's just a little small area that is. Well, in this, basically what we're doing here is we are building a chapel or church or cathedral or whatever you would like to call it. And I had an idea in my head, so as you can see I'm kind of building it a little bit different than I normally do. I'm kind of building almost like the inside out, which is a lot different than what I normally do, but that's just because I have a specific look that I am going for with this lot. This is the first community lot I've actually ever built. Most of the time I just kind of throw something together in one of my own games just so it's usable and call it good, but this is the first time I actually created a lot that I had the purpose of actually sharing with everybody else. And it took, for me actually, it took a really long time. The video, actually I was surprised. I was only had to do like 35 minutes after it was all said and done, but that was because a lot of the video is actually cut out. Normally I don't do that, but in this lot I had in mind, after I got started building and stuff, I actually had in mind a cathedral ceiling. And if those of you who don't know what those are, that's when the ceiling goes to a point and the roof area is all open, not with a flat ceiling or anything. That actually goes up to a point in the center, and that is pretty much what took the most time. I do have a little bit of it shown, but most of it will be cut out because anybody who's ever done those types of ceilings knows every little thing that you do or have to make a change, you pretty much have to go and redo the whole thing again. So I had decided, since they do take a lot of time, I went ahead and showed in the video a little bit of creating the cathedral ceiling, and but the most of it I went ahead and cut it out. That way the video wouldn't be too long. But I was actually not planning on making a video this week. I was actually going to take the week off because here in the States it was our Thanksgiving last week, and I had decided to spend last week making extra videos. That way I would be able to, take this week off, and wasn't going to do a speed build. But I happened to be thinking of this lot last night, and I just couldn't wait to get started. So I went ahead and got started, and I was surprised I actually got it done in a pretty good amount of time, and thought, why not? Let's go ahead and get the commentary done for it really quick and get it uploaded. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Wasn't really too sure. As you can see, there's a lot of things that's going to change. Now the stairs do not change. What you see there is they are going to stay. We went ahead and this church is actually looks really large from the outside, like really big, but it's actually not very big at all. Mostly because most of it is, well, I like to call it wasted space. Because most of it is ceiling or roof, and I mean, like I said, it looks really large from the outside, but you'll see that it doesn't. Looks like it has 2 stories and a possible third, but it really doesn't. It actually is only 1.5 stories, and the second level isn't really that big. It's mostly just a balcony with some seats, and that's really about it. So but it uses some store content. I had thought, I had just gotten those wedding store content packs, or whatever you want to call them, from the store. I just got in those, and I thought, why don't we go ahead and create a church? Now I had ended up getting another store pack to go along with this, but pretty much, if you want, most of the time the store content items I use, it doesn't usually play a large part in my builds, and normally you'll still get, for the most part, the same as what it looks when you see it when I build it. However, in this case, if you want the lot to look the way you see it, you're pretty much going to want to have those store content items. I used a lot of them, and they do play a very large part in the way this lot looks. But basically what we're doing up here, I had very mixed feelings with this part up here. Basically what it's supposed to represent is the tower on a church that would normally have your bell. I had actually changed it multiple times. I even made it smaller. I did this and that. I just wasn't really getting it, the size that I was kind of wanting. We ended up going with about the size that it is now. I still think it might be a little bit on the big side, especially when it's basically just for a bell. But the smaller, as you can see right here, is where I'm experimenting with it. The smaller one, it just didn't look right. I must not have the correct arches, or I'm not sure. They just weren't going in right. So we went ahead and stuck with the larger one. I do think it looks nice, but a little large. But that's basically what it is. I didn't put anything up in the bell area. It does have wallpaper and flooring and lights and stuff like that, but I don't think from what I saw that the Sims 3 have any kind of bell, so otherwise I probably would have made sure I had it. I don't want to do custom content, so but if I would have been able to get my hands on a bell from the store, I would have and would have used it, but I couldn't find one in the store. Maybe I didn't type in the search quite the right words. I'm not really too sure, but basically that's what that area is supposed to be for. So normally you would have a really long rope that came through and down into the lobby area, and that would be where the person would pull the rope and ring the bell. And this church basically has a lot of different things in it. It's not really a specific type of church. It's mostly a church for the Sims to get married in, actually, not really anything else. But the little things that I put in it to kind of look more churchy like isn't really designed for a specific kind of religion or a really specific anything. There were just different ideas I could think of that I thought would go well, just to try to fill in some of the space and just kind of make it look more like a church or something that you would see. So this is not meant in any way, a little disclaimer here, not meant in any way to offend anybody or make anyone mad based on the items that I chose and for their what they represent or anything like that. So it's just, like I said, I was going through my mind and just going through the objects and just trying to find different things that I could think of that I could use to represent different stuff, just to kind of give more of a church feel. So this church is pretty much all in white. Normally I don't do that, but for some reason it just fit being all in white with a little bit of the creamy tan color. And I was very surprised with this door. When I first put it in, I wanted a nice fancy door, something that would look like it would belong to a church, and I was very surprised that by recoloring it actually looked quite nice. I might use it again. So now, like these windows here, like I said, you're going to need to store content items if you want your church to look the same as what you see. All these windows I believe are from the store. I think that door is too, to be honest. But it'll all be listed. It should be all listed for you when you go to download it from the exchange. So, and a lot of things with this lot, like I said, do change. I had a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts. I wasn't sure how to recreate some of my ideas. But we eventually at the end do get it figured out. So, like I said, here's for the roof area. The part that you didn't see was I went into the basement area or the crawl space and raised the ground. That way I could raise the roof or the ceiling area here, because you've got to get it high enough to where it would touch the point of your roof. And that's kind of where you'll see. And then you basically got to go through with control elevation and you got to start lowering it bit by bit until you get the correct degree of a slant for the roof, and you have to go all the way down, and it takes a long time. So basically that's what I had done, and now as you can see it is complete. Like I said, it takes quite a long time. I thought I would show a little bit of it. So basically I come to find out what I was doing here. as you can see. You got to get rid of the hump, of course, that you did. And the first time I did it, of course, it worked. The second time, later in the video, I had to go and do some more stuff and end up messing up the roof. And by deleting the foundation like I did and putting it back in, it didn't work. I was so upset. I had to do the roof again, and I just was frustrating because the first time it worked by deleting that foundation and lowering the dirt and then putting the foundation back in. It worked and the roof was not touched. But the second time it happened, unfortunately, it messed up my roof multiple times. I couldn't get it to stop messing up the roof. And it was very frustrating because I had to go and spend all that time on that roof again. So like I said, anything in this lot especially, I am going to forewarn you, you do anything with changing the level of the floor, especially in the sanctuary is where it is at. That's where the cathedral ceiling is in the sanctuary. And you're going to have to redo that entire roof. So my suggestion is, if you're not familiar with doing cathedral ceilings or changing, the shape of your roof at different degrees and different angles, I don't suggest messing with that area of the church. I really don't. Anywhere else in the church, you can probably go ahead and customize to your liking or maybe make some changes and you should be okay. But I wouldn't, and then, like I said, unless you are very comfortable with what you're doing, I don't suggest doing anything with the sanctuary. Now here you might see that the plants might look a little bit different. That's because when I started doing the back area of the lot, I ended up doing a fenced in area, and I'm not exactly sure what had happened, but my game crashed and I hadn't saved. Like, I do multiple saves just in case, the game crashes. Most of the time my game doesn't. This is actually the first time it crashed on me in several months, but right here is where it ended up causing a problem. I wanted to have some kind of fenced in area in case you want to have your reception outside. That's kind of what this area is designed for here. It hadn't crashed on me quite yet. Basically where it crashes on me is when I had the fence in and I was trying to put a gate in. I'm not exactly sure, but I think the game does not like it if you put some kind of gate or archway or something accidentally into your foundation, because that's what happened, and immediately after it did that, it went completely black and crashed on me, and I was so upset. I knew I saved often, but I wasn't sure when I had saved last. Ended up being right before I put in the front bushes of the lot. So I'm pretty sure they're pretty similar, but they might be slightly arranged differently. I had hurried up and went back in and tried to get those plants in right away and a few other things in right away before I forgot how it looked, because I didn't want to record it again. So, but I think for the most part we got it figured out, and it looks still pretty much the same. So, but here we're going through and just trying to find what kind of fence I wanted to use, and this ends up being the fence that I do end up using. I changed the colors, but right here, as you see, didn't see it happen because we came right back in real quick, but that big arch that I had at first, that's the one that got into the foundation and it crashed my entire game. I was so upset. But I'm more happy with this gate. This gate I think looks really nice with this type of fence, and like I said, it's definitely going to be mostly decorated as if somebody came in and decorated for a wedding and reception. Like I said, this church is mostly for your weddings and receptions, not so much, you can play it as if you're having church services if you want, but like I said, it's mostly for wedding receptions and things like that. So it's going to be lots of flowers, lots of wedding stuff, and pretty much almost everything I use comes from the store. So like I said, you're going to need to have that kind of stuff. I can't say it more than enough, because most of the time it's not that big of a deal, but in this case it will be. If you go to put this in your game and you don't have those store content, it's not going to look anything like what you're seeing here. I mean, the railings, I even think those fences and stuff I think are also from the store. So I mean, just about everything you see is going to be from there. So There's a few items, of course, that's not, but just going through, this is one of the areas I was struggling. I really wanted to have the draperies here because I think those look so nice, but I wasn't sure how to create them. That's not my, I don't know, it's just not me to sit here and try to decorate something for a wedding. But I think we got something figured out. I think it looks cute, it's nice. I had to get rid of one of the tables because it just kind of didn't seem to fit anymore, having that fifth table and chairs. So, but just using some more of the flower pedestals. I'm not sure what they're called, but they come with that wedding set. So if you have the wedding set, I'm sure you probably have most of everything that you see here. And of course, I had to have some outside lighting, and I thought, oh, this was so cute. I thought maybe if I recolored it, and I just thought it was just so pretty. I love that light. I think it looks really nice. And of course, I have to have outside lights, and if you watch my speed builds enough, I do my best to try to cover the poor lighting in Sims 3 as much as I can. I can't guarantee it. It's always going to be fixed or taken care of, but I do try my best to try to help the glitching as much as I can, just because I guess that's just my OCD happening. I guess I just have a real problem with something not looking its absolute best. So we have the tables and stuff sitting out to kind of look like people were here and putting things out. You got a radio to listen to and a container of cookies and all kinds of stuff. So I'm not sure. I put one of those cakes or whatever on the center table there. I don't know for sure if the Sims actually cut and eat that cake or not. It's called a wedding cake replica or something like that. I'm not really too sure, but it's on that table anyway. I guess, for decoration. If not, it can easily be removed and you can put, one of those other cakes on instead. So, and I thought those flowers that hang on the wall were so cute, and when I started putting them on those poles, those pillars, I thought these look really nice. I really liked the way those looked. And I thought it just really helped complement the columns and everything. And then I decided we're going to go ahead and change all these windows. This is the other reception area, and this is the indoor one, in case it's snowing or raining, you don't really want your Sims outside and all that. I went ahead and changed the windows because I wanted to use I'm not exactly sure what they're called. It's not really garland, but it's bunch of greenery with flowers and stuff on it, and they kind of go very well with those windows, so that's kind of why I changed it, and I really wanted to use them. So I hadn't got to really use any of my new store content here, for this, and I thought this would be a great time to get to use it. I wasn't really sure what I wanted for my wallpapers, so kind of went through and did a few different things and here and there, and the church is decorated in a really soft, either a real soft pink color, or you'll see kind of like a whitish tan color throughout the church. I tried to make it as much of a romantic feel as I could. So, and again, that buffet table, I haven't had a chance to use these pieces yet, so I'm not really too sure if that cake on there is one that the Sims cut or not. I have no idea. I apologize if neither of the cakes I put on here are used for your Sims to be, for their cutting of the cake, so I apologize if neither of them work. So, but we're just trying to figure out, it's a small space. Like I said, the church really isn't that big, but it has everything that you need. And the reason why I wanted to build this church, one of the main reasons, is because I have downloaded a few different churches and venues and stuff for my Sims, just because I never really wanted to create one myself. I wasn't really too sure how or what I wanted, I guess, back at the time that I was downloading them. And there was a few things I had noticed with each of them that I thought were missing, and I always had to go in myself and add them. And one of the things that they never seemed to have was like a reception area for them to sit and cut their cake and and talk and have some place to go after the wedding. Like, I've downloaded a few churches and all they had was just the wedding itself and nowhere for the reception, and I always had to go in and add something. And then another one that I had downloaded, and actually both of them actually, neither of them had restrooms. I'm like, how can you have a community lot, a venue, and not have a single bathroom? And again, it's like you're looking at your lot and you have nowhere to put it. You like the lot exactly the way it looks, except your Sims, you know, they don't come from their houses very prepared, and they are wetting themselves all over the place. So this, like I said, this lot, I tried to make sure that everything that was put into this lot took care of everything that I was always adding myself, and that would be a reception area and a bathroom. So don't worry, your Sims are completely covered with bathroom facilities and the reception area. This is another one of them areas where I had to go in and change the roof again, and I do cut out a lot of it, but I wanted to show that I had to go and do this, you know, again, because every time you make a change you have to redo it all. And what I wanted, you'll see it when we get it completed. I'm not really too sure what it's called exactly. Some churches have them because that's where they will have like this one area with a bathtub, and they'll do baptisms up there. I'm not sure, some others have crosses up in that area. I don't really know. I don't know all of the religions. I don't know everything. Like I said, I just tried to do my best. So here you can see I had gotten the roof back the way I wanted it, and I went to do the same thing I had done the first time by deleting the foundation and flattening the ground. As you can see, it's not working, not like it did the first time, and there's, you know, my roof is completely messed up. So that part got cut out just because, you know, that's very time consuming having to fix that roof every time, and I didn't feel that you really wanted to see me change and fix that roof every single time it had to be done. So but this is the area I was telling you that, you know, some churches have them, not all of them, but they usually have something in there. So I tried to kind of decorate it the much as I could, you know, try to make it look, you know, nice. I thought that would look really nice in the church. Like I said, with the cathedral ceilings, it just seemed to be something I really wanted. And of course I blacked out the areas behind because it's not an area that is meant for your Sims to go. So any area that your Sims do not go, I have it blacked out. That way you don't have to worry about seeing that, you know, ugliness of nothing back there, and it's empty anyway. There's nothing there anyway. So now basically what we're doing here is I wanted to have a little bit of a raised up area, except, you know, I really didn't want to mess with the roof again, and I wasn't, you know, I wanted the floors to look nice. So I just saw those platforms or whatever they are would probably work best, and we kind of created a little pedestal area where your preacher or pastor, you know, whatever they are called for that, you know, for that church, you know, their pedestal to be out there as well. I thought that was a nice touch. Like I said, there's nothing specific on this. It's just supposed to, you know, represent something, just to kind of fill the space and make it look more like a church. That's really all the items are for. And the flowers and stuff, of course, like I said, tons of flowers. I tried to make it look like they were placed there for a wedding that is going to be taking place. So that's what all those flowers there are for. You know, someone's coming in to get married and they need to have their flowers, and the rugs and stuff. The rugs turned out much nicer than I thought they were. I wasn't really too sure with overlapping them like I did that many times exactly what they were going to look like, but they actually turned out pretty nice. I was actually rather happy with the way they turned out. So just going through and just trying to make some more adjustments, and the whole church is pretty much in the same color, mostly because of all the walls not being the same level. It just helped hide all of that and make a nicer, cleaner look. And it's kind of like in a little bit of a beige color. So here's where we're going to try to see what we can do to put up here to make it look like, I didn't really want to do a upright piano. I just felt the church like this would probably have a grand piano. I don't know, that's just what I thought they would have. This corner here, I do end up leaving empty for a while because I really had no idea what else I could put in that would look like it would go in a church. I pretty much had used all of the items that I could think of at the time that would, look like it belonged in a church. Now what we end up putting back here is, you see this sometimes. I don't know what all churches would have them, but like a Lutheran church has them. I'm not sure what else, but a unity candle is kind of what I was having that represent. Like I said, it's not just one. I just threw in as many things as I could think of just to try to give it, that look of being a church. So that is I don't know what kind of candle it is. I think it came from the store. It looked like it had a little store icon. So like I said, there'd be a lot of things from the store. So but that's kind of what that one was supposed to represent. So here I am, I'm putting in all of these lights that you do not see in live mode. I use them as much as I can to try to cover up the bad lighting. So you'll see me placing them all over the place just to try to help get the lighting to, go where it's supposed to go. That way it at least looks all unison as much as I can and have good shadows. At least I try my best anyway to have decent shadowing. And as you can see here, we are adding some more because the lights and stuff are actually on the second floor because of the high ceilings. So we needed to add these just to kind of give the impression that the lights or the chandeliers are shining down to the first floor. Just going through and retouching up a few more things. Here is the balcony. Like I said, it's not a very large second floor. It mostly just has a few seats, and that's really pretty much about all you normally see, at least the churches I've been in anyway. It's mostly just a balcony with some benches, and that's really about it. I thought I would add a few lights, a few candles and stuff here and there just to kind of help light up the staircase area, which we do have 2 of them, and they are in the L-shaped style of staircases. And the stairs and the railings, I believe, are also from the store. So I think they come from one of the other wedding venues. I can't think off the top of my head what it's called, but I think that's where those stairs and the railings come from. Now here what we're doing is we're putting in some fake closets. Just to kind of help use up some space. I black them out because I don't do anything with them this time. This time I put them in just to kind of look and represent a place where you would hang your coats and things like that, and the cold weather, and I don't do anything with them. It wouldn't be hard to, of course, change it to where they were usable, but I try to put, I don't know if I succeeded or not, but I try to put furniture kind of in the way of the door in hopes that maybe Sims won't just walk in there. There's nothing in there. I can't imagine they would go in there because there's nothing in there. But that's all they're supposed to represent, is just a closet, and that's pretty much it. Some lounge chairs that are also from the store. Those I just feel looked really nice for this type of church, and they're used throughout the church as well, along with some of these statues and some flowers. Like I said, I tried to kind of cover that door up, a little bit. It might be, one of them might be usable. I'm not really too sure. Of course, the sanctuary door does look like, is a little off center, but that just kind of happened to be the way it happened. I didn't plan on it. I was hoping for everything to be in the center, but I was not gonna go and change it. I wasn't gonna try to fix anything about that sanctuary, because like I said, everything with that sanctuary revolves around that ceiling, and I was not gonna mess with that again. So plenty of rugs, that way not so much mud or snow or anything is tracked in through the church. A place to wipe your feet to help protect the wood floors. Just some nice paintings. It was really hard to find some nice looking paintings that weren't gigantically big. There were some of them that are so big, they were mammoth. I couldn't believe how large they were. And I went and I darkened the one side of those doors. Unfortunately, the door handles I could not darken, but I didn't like how they could be seen so easily, so that's why I darkened them up. Here is the woman's bathroom. one of the reasons why the staircase is so long on the first floor is because I wanted to make sure that when I lowered the wall that a door would fit and it would not glitch out. So that would be the reason why the stairs are designed specifically the way they are, because they actually revolve around the bathroom doors. So everything with the church revolves around something in some way or another. So but this is the women's bathroom. It's got a nice couch, and then here we have the men's bathroom. They do not have a couch. At least I don't know for sure. I've never obviously been in a men's restroom in a nice restaurant or a nice church. I really have no idea if they have furniture or not. I know in the women's they tend to have chairs and lounge chairs and everything else. So but like I said, I definitely wanted to make sure that our Sims would be well taken care of. They have their bathroom facilities and lounging and all kinds of stuff. So you should be well set for your wedding when you plan it. Everything should be here for you. Here, like I said, I don't know who all has these, but like oh, now I can't think all of a sudden what it's called. Oh my gosh, holy water. There we go. I just completely lost my train of thought. That's what the fountain that's what the fountain's supposed to represent, is holy water. I just thought it felt like it fit. And then on the table I put a tray of glasses, and that's supposed to represent communion for whatever churches and religions have communion. That's what those are supposed to represent. So it was something I happened to come up with, happened to think of, that would help use some space in that corner. That was really all they're there for, was just to kind of, use up some space. So in here I wanted to get some more lighting. In order to place lighting on a second floor like this that does not have a floor, like an open staircase like this, you have to have the grid lines. So you have to carefully do constrained floor elevation again and create those grid lines in order to put those lights in. So but we're getting pretty close to the end of the video. We do some more minor touches here. We get some lighting on the outside, some train painting, but for the most part it is pretty much done. Like I said, we just do some train painting, and then there's some more outside lights that get done. If you would like to see, how the cathedral ceilings and everything turned out, you're going to want to stick around and see the screenshots at the end. There are some amazing shots of that cathedral ceiling, so you can see how it actually looks. I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. Now, before I happen to forget, if you want to subscribe, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. For those of you that are already subscribed, I have been informed actually by some other YouTubers that I watch that apparently YouTube has changed a few things with their subscriptions. If you don't actually watch someone's videos all of the time, on a very regular basis, they sometimes unsubscribe you. So if for any reason you have noticed that you haven't been getting anything from me, make sure you're still subscribed. If there's other subscribers that maybe you're not getting any notifications or anything showing up that they post a new video, double check, make sure you're still subscribed, because like I said, this is happening to many other YouTubers, and I have heard it already a few times on other people's websites. So double check your subscriptions. So here are the screenshots. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.